Welcome back, Nuggets. So, this is clearly not a mermaid. I know, I lied last video.
You trusted me.
And I missed mermaid.
I followed you.
I just wasn't feeling inspired to work on something whimsical and sea-related. I've been in a pretty dark mood, so I wanted to make something that really helped me wallow in that. So, my channel, my rules, and I'm wrapping up my Gothic Gals with this G3 Twyla repaint, with the theme of a Boogeyman housekeeper. This doll's inspiration mainly comes from Terry Pratchett's Hogfather, namely the miniseries starring Michelle Dockery. The main reason being that there's a boogeyman in the story, which is where my idea initially came from. I thought it would be fun if this boogeyman character was actually a governess and housekeeper who raised my vampire Lisbeth and looks after her castle for her. Other influences for her look and story come from characters like
Frau Blücher
and Mrs. Danvers in Rebecca. I started once again with the clothes, drawing inspiration from the Victorian-esque fantasy garb that Michelle Dockery wears in Hogfather, namely a poofy sleeved blouse, a vest on top of that, and a long skirt. The striped ribbons I used for the majority of the outfit really remind me of Katrina's dress at the end of Sleepy Hollow. Man, I must already be in a Halloweeny mood to keep working on these Gothic-inspired spooky dolls. I find this process of starting with the clothes really helps to inform the rest of the character. It also helps me create a cohesive color scheme for when I eventually do the face and hair. The blouse under the vest was made from a scrunchie I found at Walmart. It had a really interesting texture to it, and I thought it would contrast nicely with the striped ribbon. I decided her name would be Senka, which means shadow in Croatian and Serbian. I thought it was appropriately spooky. This little doorknob actually comes with the G3 Twyla doll, and it was the thing that first inspired me to do a housekeeper boogeyman, because she haunts the house, basically. I added a little bit of these cheap corner filigrees to the back for a little interest. For Senka, I knew I wanted her to have a streak in her hair as homage to Susan again. So I decided to give her a lovely soft strawberry blonde head of hair with a contrasting cold white streak for interest. I think the reddish color actually looks quite lovely with her lilac skin. I blended together a nice wheat-colored acrylic yarn with some orange to get that nice reddish blonde color. For the white streak, I used some curly teaswater hair I got on Etsy. used a pin surrounded in leftover yarn from brushing out wefts and made a little underbun for her outer hair to lie on top of. It's kind of a Gibson girl look, I think. I tied it with wire and then a black ribbon to bring it into the color scheme more. Another character that really helped me inform the design and personality of Senka was Lucille from Crimson Peak. Mainly the way she is so possessive of her keys, her house, and all the secrets within. So I made her a tiny ring of these key charms I found on Amazon. It really pulls it together. While I had the paints for her face-up out, I gave a dry brush to these Bellatrix Lestrange boots, which fit the G3 dolls perfectly. I also aged this little pocket watch I made out of a chain, the back of a little paper brad, the little brass-looking ones with the thingies on them. I don't know what they're called. I call them brads. I also used air dry clay, UV top coat, nail polish, and little charms for nail design for the hands of the watch. I also aged the doorknob, which will become the brooch of her cloak. I knew I wanted her to have a fade to black effect on her hands and legs, and then I thought, why not make the black kind of like freckles? The spray paint I used already gave it a speckled effect. It could be like she's catching dust motes from the house on her skin, and it becomes part of her. This was a grand experiment in splatter painting for me. The big splatters were good for her legs and arms, but were too large on her face. So now, enjoy some gentle splatter painting experience and let your mind just fall like droplets of paint everywhere. Seriously, it got everywhere. It took a lot of going back and forth to figure out what size worked best for the areas that I was splattering. So, I came up with a brilliant idea to create smaller sprays of dots using the humble Q-tip to flick the brush in smaller goes. Make no mistake, Lisbeth may be the mistress of the Bathory estate, but this is Senka's castle. She knows every room, every secret, every stone and crack, and can slip between the shadows like a ghost. She's been there since before Lisbeth's family claimed it. And though she raised Lisbeth and is keeper of the keys and secrets of the house, her motives are uncertain. Because my sister proposed that what my little story for these characters was missing was a bit of an antagonist. Not a villain per se, we still don't know what she wants, but her aims might not necessarily align with her mistresses, or Lisbeth's strange companions. She is keeper of the house, first and foremost. Her face-up is relatively simple because there's so much going on with the freckles. I also gave her a little violet blush on her cheeks and nose for some life. I gave her deep fuchsia eyes, wide and unblinking, to put house guests on edge. Allow me to introduce Senka, the haunting housekeeper. I love how rigid the dress feels and how distinct she is amongst the other dolls. It really helps inform her character and reinforces the fact that she has secrets and aims of her own. Now, Senka is the last Gothic gal in this series, but she's not the last doll I'll be making as part of this little story. More to come on that later. I know it's been a big gap lately in between my videos, but life's had me scrambling to keep up with work and mental health and just, being a human being. It's been hard. Hopefully I'll get the next one out sooner. Until then, take care, and I'll see you next time, Nuggets.